Hello, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Just Another RC podcast. Tonight I am joined by Nick, and we're going to be discussing the current weekend coming up at NDOR. We're going to be looking at basically pretty much what's on the fact sheet. That horrible thing that none of us ever choose to read. But we're going to be having a look, see what's on there, and then we're going to pretty much just go through the format of the weekend, what we're hoping to achieve, and then we'll take it from there. So now, if Nick would like to introduce yourself, if you want to just say who you are, where you're from, etc., that'd be fantastic. I do apologise before we start. If I talk over you, it's because nothing's coming through and there's probably a slight internet delay because we don't have fibre here. Okay, I'm not very far from Birmingham, but in this area we don't seem to have fibre. Okay, so Nick, if you'd like to introduce yourself, that'd be fantastic.
Oh, okay. Evening, Phil. Yeah, I'm Nick Tullett. I'm the chairman of NDOR, where you're coming to race this coming weekend. Looking forward to the event enormously. We've had 3 big events this year so far, all been successful. So this 4th one, I can't see any reason why it shouldn't be the same, really.
Fantastic. For those of you who watch this on YouTube, when I do put it onto YouTube, I do apologise for the state of my desk behind me. It's just stuff from where I've been looking at on my laptop, and also all the stuff from when we came back from Coventry has just literally been dumped on the desk. I haven't tidied anything away on account. I've had a busy weekend. So the weekend, we're off to NDOR. This will be round 5 of 6 rounds of the BRCA 1/10 Electric National Truck Stadium Championship, including short course 2-wheel and 4-wheel drive, stadium truck, rear motor. So let's talk about the venue. So we're off to NDOR. Would you like to explain to us where NDOR is?
Yeah, no problem at all, Phil. Quite centrally located in the country, being just off the motorway at junction 26 of the M1, which is the Nottingham turnoff, so really in the middle of the country. And we're blessed with a bypass straight off the motorway, straight to our gates. So very easy to get to, especially if you're camping and towing caravans or in large campers. Literally, like I say, straight off the Dual Carriageway through the gates and you're with us. No country lanes to contend with or getting lost through villages.
I know exactly where you are. I've never been to NDOR, but from your description, just coming straight off the motorway at the junction, I know exactly where you are. So, those of you again watching on YouTube, I will just make another apology. If you see me keep turning my head, it's because I've got multi-monitors and I'm trying to read off the one monitor and my camera is obviously looking at my face as I turn. So, the postcode we've got is NG16 to Delta Echo. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, that's correct. If you do find yourself being steered off of the A610 by your sat nav, please just check, because we are off the A610. We have had instances where the sat nav tries to take you through an hazard estate and down a farm track, but the farm track isn't public access. So just of note, we are directly off the A610.
Yeah, I get that quite a lot. I get that quite a lot of a sat nav. So yeah, we've also got what 3 words there if anybody wants to see, which is driver.general.concluded. If you look on the fact sheet, those are on there. I will try and put a copy of the fact sheet on the social media page as well, or on my social media page. It's an Astro track. The tyres as are per normal. So this weekend, we've obviously got camping available. Is camping available both Friday and Saturday night?
It is, Phil. Yes, I've actually got the day off work Friday, so my aim is to get there early doors, get everything ready. My track manager is will have the camping field all freshly mowed. But shout out to Andy Isaacs, big help at NDOR, and we open to the public drivers at 2 p.m. So anybody's welcome from 2 p.m. onwards. just find myself, Andy, or any other member of staff that's there. If you're not sure where you want to camp, pitch up, and we can guide you as you come in. Plenty of areas to choose from, hard standing, grass. We've got water on site, etc. So yeah, no problem from 2 p.m. on Friday.
Fantastic. Are the toilets on site? Or are they chemical porta toilets?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I keep forgetting, but people haven't been before, with it being a new event. Yeah. So on site for camping, we actually are very spoiled. We have mains electricity, which unfortunately we can't allow people to hook up caravans to because we don't want to risk tripping it. But you're more than welcome to use it for charging during pitting and etc. We do have mains. Sorry, apologies. Toilets, flushing toilets, proper ones, and ladies and gents separate. And we also have showers for camping over. So again, they're split to ladies and gents. So quite posh for camping.
Fantastic. Do you have any disabled access toilets out of interest?
We don't, unfortunately, but to our embarrassment, we did have a lady turn up in a wheelchair, cracking young girl, races 10th. And we made do to get her into the ladies, which we're looking at. After that, we're looking at sorting it more permanently. At the minute, we've got a temporary access into the ladies, but it's something we're going to turn his attention to.
Okay, it was just a quick question because just in case anybody's struggling with any leg movements and getting into toilets sometimes. Okay, so camping, it says on the fact sheet it's £5 a night. How do we book camping? It says it's via the website here. Can people do it just if they message you, or does it have to be via the website, or can they just turn up?
There's no set law. We do prefer if it's booked in advance because that just keeps things simple, and the money just goes into PayPal, which we can then just transfer into the club account. But we do take on the weekend payment. We could take cash. We could take card. And the booking done online is just simply on our website, which is www.ndor.co.uk/new. It is important that you put the /new in because we had some problems with the website earlier this year, and we've just started to branch off onto a slightly separate domain.
Okay, if you can send me that website in a message later, what I'll do is I'll put it on my Facebook page as well, and I'll try and get it onto the 1/10th National Trip page. And that'd be absolutely fantastic. We've got an on-site cafe. Well, I see we've got on-site food available both days, isn't it?
It is, yes. We have got an on-site cafe. Long story short, it didn't really survive this winter, so it's undergoing full renovation in a minute. But we've got a really, really popular burger bar that comes in, a mobile one. But it's not your average greasy spoon you sit at the side of the cafe. It's more of a fairground style professional outfit. It's really big, really nice food, and good rates as well. They don't try and rip you off because it's a private event. So they'll be on site. They'll be setting up Friday, and then they'll be open for breakfast Saturday morning, all day Saturday, and then again the same on Sunday, up and early for breakfast and right throughout the day.
Fantastic. So, again, with all of these events, the catering teams come in. It's always nice if we can to just purchase, even if it's just a burger off them at some point, because we want them to come back. We want them to support our events again. And obviously, if they don't get support, if they don't make any money, they're not going to come back, which then leaves us potentially without any food source at future events. So it's always nice if we can, just to maybe have a burger, even if it's only a cup of coffee. Just goes to show that hopefully we can support them and make it worthwhile for doing these events, because obviously these events are quite small compared to a lot of the stuff that they actually used to. So where is let's cut to the chase here. Let's ask a question that people are going to want to know for the Saturday evening. Where is the nearest pub?
Right. So that is the downside of being on a dual carriageway. It is very awkward to get off site on foot. So whilst you can walk up to the nearest pub, it is down the farm lane and it's unlit. But other than that, if you've got a designated driver, which I'm sure you could draw straws for, there's numerous pubs around. The closest town is called Eastwood, and that's got a very famous pub crawl through it of real ale bars if you're into that kind of thing. And then there's a few modern pubs And there's even the Weatherspoons. So if somebody wants a nice cheap evening out, there's a Weatherspoons there. But as I say, it's a good walk down a lane. So you probably do need a designated driver if you want to go out for a few drinks.
I think people are likely to walk down the lane with a torch. Having seen them doing it at previous events and having done it myself, excuse me, it stands a chance that people are likely to have that walk to go and have a few beers, maybe a bite to eat, and then come back. So that's what else have we got regarding the campsite? We've got running water, we've got toilets, we've got food. They know who they've got to talk to. We know where the venue is. So the format for Sunday at the moment is still the same as previous events, where we get drivers briefing, 1 round of practice, 4 rounds of qualifying, then 3 finals for all. The rear motor has got its own separate heat from what I believe, and again, it's got a decent entry. You've got till this Wednesday to get your entry, to get onto the website and book your entry. Any problems getting onto the website, please give somebody a shout. So that's kind of the event for the weekend, isn't it? We have got a couple of thank yous that we'd like to do before we move on to stuff at your event, your venue. So the last event, I forgot to mention on last week's podcast that CML Distribution sorted out a pit mat and a shock stand for one of the juniors. They do this 1 per round. It's not a lot, but at least it's something. So they walked away with something. So this time it was Hayden Hicks, and he walked away with I believe it's Hayden Hicks, with a shock stand and a pit mat. So well done, Hayden. Hayden seems to be doing quite well at Coventry. So hopefully they'll have that again this week. I'm not entirely sure on that. So we'll find out the weekend. So NDOR. It's a 1/8 track as well as a temp scale track, or have you got a 1/8 there?
It is, Phil. Yeah. Well, initially, just a brief history of Endor. I don't want to be the cure for anyone's insomnia.
Carry on.
But I remember it from when I was. I mean, I'm 54 now, but when I was at school, I remember there being the stock car tracks there, and so they've got a 5th scale and 8th scale stock car oval tracks on tarmac. And I think they wanted to expand and open up to the world of off road. So they took an area of grass and created a grass track for 5th scale petrol off road. And this is a good 30 odd years ago. And then fast forward to about 15 years ago, some guys got together and forgive me on the dates if I'm wrong, anybody. I'm just going from what I've heard. It's 15, 20 years ago, they built the first Astro track there, which started off 5th again. But as 5th got a little bit outdated, I suppose, 8th sort of took over and it became 8th only. And that's been running and still is running to the present day. It's iterations and changes to the track. But yeah, it's still going. Unfortunately, I think you'll agree with me, Phil, that nationally, club level 8th racing seems to be dropping off very slightly. It's hard to get full race meetings like we used to get. During COVID, that was the best I've known for 8th outdoor because all the 10th venues were closed. So everyone but wanted to race came and raced outdoors. And we were regularly getting 5, 6, sometimes 7 each on a club race. Now
Wow.
we're having to beg to get 2. We had a race this weekend. We hit 3 each, so we was like, wow, this is brilliant. You know, we're getting good. So and that's So that's the 8th to the answer the 8th side of it. That's where we're at. What was about 2020 through the COVID was good. Then it started to die off a bit once everything started to get back to normal. But it had died off to the point where, with the cost of living and everything else going up, our rent had gone up, the footfall was coming down, and we were, as a club, we was genuinely worried that we was going to basically not survive because we weren't taking enough through the club to cover the rent or you could just about cover the rent, but we haven't got enough to invest. So because you couldn't invest, there was nothing appealing to get people to come and want to come. The track layout had developed a bit of a bad reputation as being an obstacle course. So the previous committee, they put some really good efforts in to start it on its way to change. And then they'd done a good few years. And then myself and another guy, Will, and Mark, Steve Pope sort of took over the reins. I was track manager at the time, and we just started investing and tried to improve on what the previous committee had done. And it all went well. But then I had a year off because of just, you like you say, you've got a lot to do at home. You get your wife getting on it. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. The house were getting neglected. The kids were leaving school at the time. So I had a year off. And then the chairman at the time, Mark, he asked me, Nick, can you consider coming and giving us a hand and put your thoughts in for a 10th track or another way of making some money? So primarily we got together and thought, right, what can we do? Because we can't let this club fold due to lack of income. But lack of income was leading to lack of investment. Like I say, it's a slippery slope. So we held a fifth national and to try and test the fifth. And again, it was a fantastic event. It really was. Don't get me wrong, but the cost of the damage afterwards, not deliberate damage, just the sheer size and weight, it killed all the pipework. And for a club that's down on funds, it cost us £500 to replace.
Wow.
And the figures, I don't want to throw stones in the greenhouse, but the things promised for the event, the figures that we got didn't match because they changed how they did it, and it was a bit of an anticlimax. So we drew a line under that, said tried it, didn't work. So then I came up with the bright idea of, shall we build a separate 10th track? Because building a 10th track in the 8th track, which was discussed, we can do it, but I don't think it'll bring them in. And that's the history of it, really. So we decided to take the plunge and build the 10th track, which you now know when you're visiting this weekend.
Yeah, the bottom line is every club, even though realistically it's meant to be non-profit making organisation or kind of, every club's got to make money to survive because the club has outlays, and if those outlays aren't being covered, the club can't survive. It can't survive on no money. It's got to have some sort of income, and people are now. You've got to start running sometimes a club more like a business to keep that income coming in, and you've got to try ideas, haven't you? You've got to try as many ideas as you can to try and keep
100%.
people bringing through the door. And unless you can
100%.
be diverse, excuse me,
yeah,
unless you can be diverse in what you do, you limit yourself. So try new ideas. If the idea doesn't work, you've not necessarily failed. You've just tried an idea that hasn't particularly worked that time, but you've learnt from it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I say, though, so to be diverse, we decided 10th's where the action seems to be. And are you familiar with Mike Nash? He's of Manor fame. He runs a Manor RC club. His son Aaron's a National A driver off road at 10th.
Okay.
Shout out to Mike. He's my right hand man, or I'm his. I'm not sure which way around it is. But no, we make a great team as together with Andy. And so I managed to talk to Mike early days, suggested what I'm doing, and he sort of said, "Yeah, I'm up for that. I'll join in with you." And we came up and we were well into the build, and we came up with the name one day of Mandor, which was Manor and Endor combined. So the unofficial name, even though the 10th track is under Endor, it's unofficially known as Mandor. Which, it's quite a nice ring to it because they run there from on a Wednesday evening through summer, which is nice. But anyway, with the decision to do the 10th track, we was like, and I said, but if I'm doing it, I'm not.
Hello, I've lost you. Are you still there? Okay, so it looks like. Are you back?
I'm back.
You're back. Well done. Hello.
Yeah, sorry, my phone rang. It took me by surprise. I was like, no, don't ring. I'm back. Sorry. So, yes. Where was I? Yeah, the 10th track. We decided between us if we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly. And then the chairman at the time, because I was still track manager at this point, the chairman at the time was like, "Yeah, that's all good, but we've got a very limited budget because we haven't got any income." I'm like, "Leave it with me." I'll pay my way, I'll get the stuff, and then pay me back as we go. So I won't broadcast actual figures because it's not necessary to the cause. But let's just say I've got my money back now, and it's going from strength to strength. So yeah, so we took the dive, and it took 14 months of. I'm not exaggerating. Nearly every weekend for nigh on 14 months to get to where we are. But we're suitably impressed, and like I said earlier, we've had this will be our third national, and we had a regional just this year, plus club racing on a Wednesday through Mandor, and our summer series that we've been running. Yeah, it's been really good. We've had some top name drivers come in, especially with like the juniors and vets. That was a real standout event for me. Just with the nature of the weekend,
Yeah.
it wasn't as frantic as a full-on national with all the top, like the pro drivers as such. I don't want to insult anyone at the juniors and vets, but it seemed a little bit more less formal, which was more appealing to me because everyone was laughing, joking, and cheering, and the banter when the finals were on. It was made for a really good weekend and properly showcase what the hobby should be about. And
Yeah.
I've heard rumour that you guys take this to the next level with the trucks.
Yeah, we have a bit of banter. We have a bit of a laugh. Certainly on Saturday night, I expect there'll probably be some people having a bit of a laugh and a joke. On Sunday, they'll be laughing and a joke. Yeah, we are quite relaxed, and yeah, we do have a bit of banter. But yeah, there is some race. Obviously, we're there to race, so there'll obviously be some people that are quite competitive, and then there'll be some people like me that aren't quite competitive.
What are you driving, Phil?
So I'm this week because of work commitments. I'm coming Sunday morning, so I'm not camping. I've got an RC10T, so I'll be running rear motor. This is the second time I'm running it.
Okay.
So I'm still a bit ginger with it. I'm still a bit kind of, what can I do with it? How fragile is it? What can I hit? What can't I hit? So the object is obviously not to hit anything. But sometimes you end up clipping pipes or stuff. So, and also what jumps, how far can I jump it with a 10.5? So it's good. I expect to be in the bottom of the field. I have no reservations that I'm anything probably better than that, but I've come to the party very late. I didn't used to the hobby years ago, so I've come to the party very late, and I'm really enjoying the rear motor. I was hoping to have it sorted for an event early this year, but with various things, it hasn't happened. So it's kind of one of those things. And sat behind me, I've actually got the new RC10 FT, the factory team one, still in its box, still sealed. I picked it up on Saturday. I've managed not to open the box because if I opened it, I'd try and rush the build. So I may use it later in this year, but I'm going to take my time building it, get it sorted, and then kind of run it there. But yeah, so I like the rear motor. I would say it's up there, but it's not. The other one's not. It's actually downstairs in bits. So yeah, so hopefully Sunday we'll have a full day.
Oh,
Uh,
brilliant.
and but yeah, there'll certainly be some banter going. Some of it will be aimed at me, I expect it. Some normally is so. But you have to have a laugh and a joke, and that's kind of where the events are at, isn't it? You know, you've got to be able to have that laugh and joke. Okay, there is the serious side as well. It is a national event, but you have to be able to have that laugh and a joke. And it's quite nice. So yeah, so Sunday I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping maybe that we'll do some live streaming. Coming Sunday morning, depends what hours I have Saturday at work, depends on how I feel Sunday morning, how awake I am. But I'm hoping that maybe we can actually get some live streaming, certainly for the finals going. So I'll probably only bring one camera with me this time, and we'll see what we can set up. So we'll take it from there. Right, are there any events that you'd like to plug at NDOR? Because we've got about 5 minutes left. So are there any events that you'd like to plug?
We've got nothing coming up really, to be honest. We've just got our club race we had last Sunday. We've got our last round of our summer series coming up. I can't remember the exact date, but that'll be in September. And like I say, we race 10th on our 10th track every Wednesday night. But again, that's going to be ending come September because that'll go back indoor for the winter season, which is run up at Shirebrook, a bit further up the motorway. One thing I would touch on, whether you mentioned about lady limits, we are a very vintage friendly track. We haven't got lots of big
Fantastic.
jumps. We use fire hose, pea gravel filled fire hose for markers, but they're not overly filled, so they are quite flat. So you can drive over them. You know, I'm not saying you're not going to damage your car, but they aren't as solid as some tracks can be. And the track's more off road undulated than big jumps, so it is quite user friendly.
Nice.
And also, just to touch on with the camping, obviously, yeah, we've got a big camp here. Everyone can camp together, have a laugh, do what you want. Just be mindful with barbecues or any fire pits because I appreciate the ground is
Yeah.
tinder dry, tinder dry.
Yeah, they've got
So
issues by us with the local heritage railway, with the steam trains, and obviously there's been a few fires that have been from hot embers coming out. So yeah, right. Well, thank you very much. If you want to stay on the line, and I'll thank you afterwards. I'm just gonna click something that I've been messing around with as like a bit of an outro. Whether it works or not, I don't know, but we've got to try it. So I'd like to thank you all for listening. I'd like to thank Nick for being a guest, and hopefully I will see you all at the weekend at some point. Hopefully we'll have a good weekend. Hopefully the weather's going to be fantastic. At the moment, it's still a little bit warm, but it's better than anything else. So it'd be nice if we carry on and we actually keep that going. Right, thank you very much. Thank you, Nick, and I will catch you all next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.